We've been talking about a couple of parties here that decided to get going in the provincial election. One of them, of course, is the one with Balarama Holness, which is now officially known as Bloc Montreal or Bloc Montréal. Another is the Canadian Party of Quebec, officially launching today with their spokesperson, COLIN Standish, at the helm, and he is on the line. Mr. Standish, thanks for the time.
Hi, Aaron. Good to talk to you.
I got a couple of things right off the top. You were still at the helm. It doesn't say you're the leader. Are you a spokesperson? Are you leading this party? What's your position?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I am officially the leader as of today, so very honored to be selected as the founding leader of the Canadian Party of Quebec.
Congratulations. Yeah, that's great.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
One of the other things, Natasha and I were just chatting during the break, we wanted to talk about platform, but we asked, I don't know if you heard Tom Mulcair just a few minutes ago, but when we asked about you and asked about the party, he said this.
They're having a heck of a hard time, other than Mr. Standish himself, who's relatively youthful, but they're having a heck of a hard time drawing in women, people from visible and other minorities. So it's a party that seems to be against a certain number of things, as the newscast just said. Against Bill 21, against Bill 96, against Bill 40. Fine. That's absolutely easy to understand. But what are you actually about?
Okay. What are you about? Because I know you didn't release a platform today. So first of all, is that accurate?
So, regarding Mr. Mulcair's very generous introduction, as he always seems to do for me and for the Canadian Party and the Exploratory Committee, it's just not based on fact that the Canadian Party of Quebec is a diverse coalition of people from across the province, from Kuujjuaq to Knowlton, to my hometown. And, today we had, as well, Eddie said we didn't have females. We had a female Francophone speaker from the Eastern Townships who spoke very passionately about language in Quebec. And as well, regarding platform, that we released our 6 principles. That's sort of the bedrock of the party, namely constitutionalism, human rights, language rights, bilingualism, prosperity for all Quebecers, that I encourage people to take a look at that. So we have a very thorough intellectual and moral bedrock for the party. The platform is under development, it'll be coming out during the election campaign, but we're very excited to be launching today, 3.5 months until the election day. Confident we're going to win seats in and around Montreal, and certainly, and as well, and in the rest of Quebec as well.
How many candidates do you intend to run?
We have a 2-pronged strategy in that regard. We have 3.5 months until E-Day, as I was describing, but we really want to get 125 candidates across the province of Quebec. We have a very thorough vetting process. We've had a lot of candidates come forward. They're doing their due diligence, so criminal, credit checks, all the works. And then as well, though, we are realistic, of course, that we know our core constituency, our voters, where we can win seats in this election: Montreal, Greater Montreal, Western Quebec, so Outaouais, Pontiac, and then as well the Eastern Townships where I was born and raised. So that's where we're going to be focusing. But once again, we believe on a good day, from Baie-Comeau to Baie-D'Urfé, all Quebecers can vote for the Canadian Party of Quebec.
Colin, can I ask you how many candidates you have as of today?
We have not announced any candidates, so they will be announced at different times throughout the next several months up until election day. So we have not announced any official candidates at this point in time, and that's intentionally so. We're doing our due diligence, wanted to launch the party logo and leader today.
I'm gratified to know that you're doing criminal checks as well. That's kind of handy you mentioned that in passing. I'm like, for some people who are trying to understand who would want to run, first of all, you got 125 candidates you said that theoretically you would like to have run in the election. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. And I'm wondering, because obviously you sit and talk about this, how many do you think you can win, realistically?
Once again, that we have the 2-pronged strategy I've described, and we know where we can win seats in, Montreal, Townships, Western Quebec. But once again, I believe that Quebecers are sick and tired of Mr. Legault's policies. Bill 21, Bill 40, Bill 96, that basically extinguish the right for English speakers to live in this province, diminish the human rights and freedoms of all Quebecers, and cripple our economy. I think people are sick and fed up with it, from the Saguenay to Sherbrooke, where I work. I think people are sick of it. So once again, to give a number of seats that we're going to win, once again, I don't know. But I do know that Quebecers are sick and tired of Mr. Legault's policies, and I'm confident that we're going to win seats in this coming election.
You're basically, people will look at you, and we said the same thing in chatting with Tom a minute ago. We've heard this from people as well, that in fact you are just a protest party. So yes, Bill 21, yes, Bill 40, yes, Bill 96. What are you beyond that? Where's the economic plan? I know you haven't released your entire platform, but any of the other core issues, where do you stand on those?
That's something I've heard projected onto us, and I heard Mr. Mulcair speak about that. I wish Mr. Mulcair would take a look at our principles, and certainly to see our plan for Quebec versus his plan for Quebec when he was NDP leader with the Sherbrooke Declaration, with asymmetrical federalism, Quebec as a nation, and Bill 101 applied federally. That's what Mr. Mulcair stands for, and
I'm not hearing an answer for where you stand.
I want to get that. Sorry, Aaron. But once again, on the Canadian Party of Quebec, we offer a constructive framework for the future of Quebec, for the future of post-Quiet Revolution Quebec for all Quebecers, English speakers, Francophones, newcomers, and Indigenous. We want to have a constructive voice. You're right. It's not just about protesting, being opposed to Mr. Legault or other parties. It really is about a constructive framework. I encourage people to take a look at our website, our 6 principles. We're going to have other policies and come out where you will have a very thorough platform. And certainly on the economy, that Bill 96 is a recipe for economic disaster. And that's why we're fighting it tooth and nail. One of the primary reasons as well that we're fighting it tooth and nail right now with inflation, with rising interest rates, that people are feeling that crunch right in their wallets. So we're going to have a very thorough economic platform as well. So once again, the Canadian Party of Quebec really will speak to all Quebecers in a fundamental way. I'm confident of that.
Colin, one of the things we've heard a lot is the concern that parties like yours and Balarama Wholeness will split the vote. So I think I'd like to hear from you. Why should someone consider voting for the Canadian Party of Canada rather than the Liberals?
That's a great question. And so once again, I don't think anyone's beholden to one party, or any party is deserving of anyone's votes just because they happen to exist in the past. Then instead of holding our nose at the ballot box, I want people to be proud of when they mark an X next to the Canadian Party of Quebec's name at the ballot, that we have a constructive framework for Quebec, that when we talk about vote splitting and all the rest, it really is, it's just about voting for the least worst option because maybe it's better than the other guys. We don't want that. We don't think that's good enough. We want an option that people will be proud of. They know will give them a better future for themselves, their families, and for the future of the entire province and the country. So that's what we plan to do.
So as I'm listening to you say this, Colin, I'm wondering to myself, so what makes you any different, say, from Bloc Montréal, basically saying the same kind of things that you are?
Well, Bloc Montréal, I mean, it's interesting to see Mr. Holmes has taken a very narrow stance in this election, is really just fighting for the island of Montreal. I know myself, I'm from the Eastern Townships, that I'm not willing to exclude the majority of Quebecers from my party. So I find that very strange that and also, well, he's indicated that he takes inspiration from the Bloc Québécois, that he said they defend the rights of Quebecers in the federal parliament. However, I don't take inspiration from the Bloc Québécois nor the Parti Québécois like Mr. Holness. Once again, we have a constructive framework for all of Quebec, for all Quebecers, regardless of their language, regardless of their ethnicity, or their class or creed, that we really have a constructive vision for the future of Quebec. And I encourage people, take a look at our website, take a look at our 6 principles, and if you agree with it, look forward to having your support on Election Day.
Final question, we're going to run out of time. So you talk about other issues, but yes, against these various bills that you mentioned. What's your policy on immigration?
On immigration, more the merrier. I mean, more Canadians constructively contributing to our society here in Quebec is a good thing. So yes, very much for permanent residency programs, for incorporating students who come here to make sure that people they don't get in a sort of bureaucratic quagmire where they're highly educated, want to contribute to Canadian Quebec society, but can't because of bureaucratic roadblocks. So once again, I mean, for immigration that benefits Quebec, for benefits newcomers, and is a powerful force for good in our society.
Yeah, do you have a number?
I don't have a number to share with you, Aaron.
So you want to do good things for immigration, but you can't necessarily pick a number. You can't quantify how many immigrants you'd allow versus what the government is allowing now.
You know, once again, it's about a constructive immigration policy that helps build the province.
All right.
Yeah.
Colin, I thank you. I appreciate the time, and congratulations again on being now officially the leader of this party, and I hope we can chat soon.
Thanks so much, Aaron. I really appreciate it.
Colin Standish, it's official. He's now the leader of
I'm
the
a little
Canadian
worried
Party
about the
of Quebec.
timeline here. I'm looking at the calendar, and it's almost July, and I feel like there's an awful lot that we need to learn in a little bit of time.
Well, 125 candidates to go, huh?
I'm sure they're well aware of the. I don't need to explain. It's July soon. Listen,
we will follow up. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.